Hey guys, Dusty here. I just got back in from my very first run in the new ASICS Metaspeed Edge. I was actually at work today when I got an email saying that my new shoes arrived. So I quit work early to hurry home, put on my new shoes, and head out for a 40-minute tempo. And that was my first run in the Metaspeed Edge, a 40-minute tempo run covering 10.6K with an average pace of 3:46 per kilometer. So this year, ASICS launched two new super shoes, the ASICS Metaspeed Sky, which has already been out for a couple of months. And that shoe in particular is more designed for people who are striders. And basically what that means is that shoe is designed for people who more or less have the same cadence, no matter if they're running easy or if they're running fast. And then just as of the last week, they launched the new Metaspeed Edge. And this shoe in particular is designed more for cadence runners, so people whose stride length increases as well as their cadence as they go from easy to fast. And I actually own both shoes. I'm going to be testing both, but at least according to ASICS kind of guidelines about these shoes, I definitely fall into the Edge category. I'm definitely a cadence runner. So my cadence in a recovery run versus in a race can be like over 20 steps per minute difference, which is a huge difference, and that's why I should probably be in the Edge. Okay, so let's get right into it. The ASICS Metaspeed Edge has a stack height of 29 in the rear and 21 in the forefoot for a heel to toe drop of 8 millimeters. My men's size 8.5 weighs in at a very, very light 6.2 ounces or 175 grams. So it's actually lighter than the Vaporfly. The upper on the shoe breathes really nice. It was quite warm out for my run and my feet didn't overheat at all, even though the rest of my body did. I believe this upper is a fully recycled polyester, and it has zero give to it whatsoever, so it is a little bit difficult putting the shoe on. The tongue in the Metaspeed Edge is very thin, not gusseted at all, but I didn't have any issues with it sliding around in my first run. The heel is very floppy, just like mostly every other race shoe out there, but it does have a touch of structure. And then there was adequate amount of like foam padding around the heel collar, and my heel stayed locked in really nicely. Now as far as fit on the Metaspeed Edge, it's quite narrow in the heel, and then there's ample room in the forefoot. So if you have a wider forefoot, this might actually be a race day shoe that will finally work for you. However, I will say that it's a touch on the short side. I went true to size at an 8.5, and my right foot is slightly bigger than my left. And when I was descending down some steep hills today, I could definitely feel my big toe hitting the end of the shoe every single time. So they definitely fit on the short side. I almost always go true to size. And the fact that I could probably go up into a 9 would mean you'll probably want to go up half a size as well. Now we'll move along to the midsole. ASICS is using their Flight Foam Blast Turbo midsole. This is a new midsole foam to ASICS. It was in their Metaspeed Sky as well. And this shoe feels decently soft. It's nowhere near as bouncy or as squishy as something like the Vaporfly. I'd say this shoe has a really nice blend of firmness and softness. Enough firmness, responsiveness, enough snap to it to really go fast right when you want it to, but definitely enough softness to get you comfortably through to the finish line of like a marathon. Oh, and then of course sandwiched inside of this midsole is a full-length, very stiff carbon fiber plate. For those of you wondering, the insole in the shoe is not removable. And then if we move along to the outsole, we have some ASICS Grip rubber. Very, very sticky. I didn't get a chance to test it on a wet road today, but from what I hear from the Metaspeed Sky, which has the same outsole, the shoe is very, very sticky in wet conditions as well. And they've even saved weight on the outsole by making these little holes in the rubber. There is a decent amount of exposed midsole foam here, and I'll zoom in on the lateral side of the heel here. That's where I often land, and you can see after only 10.5K it's already showing some signs of wear. I'm pretty sure that's just cosmetic, but I'm a little concerned at how this shoe is going to look after like 100K. Okay, so how did it feel today out there on the run? It felt very, very comfortable, and I think this shoe may be in the running for my new favorite race day shoe. And I think finally Nike, especially the Vaporfly, is going to have some serious competition with the Metaspeed Edge. Obviously, I'm going to have to do a lot more running and testing to get to my full review and compare it directly against the Metaspeed Sky as well as the Vaporfly, which the Vaporfly is my favorite race day shoe until I do more testing in this. But this shoe felt very, very stable. I did a little bit of running on a road that had a camber today, and if you've ran on a road that has a camber in like the Nike Vaporflies, you'll know it's very, very uncomfortable. I think because the stack height isn't so high on this shoe and the foam isn't ultra squishy, as well as it has a pretty wide forefoot, I think when you combine all that together, it makes for a really stable shoe. And even taking corners, I felt very, very sure of my footing in this shoe. Like I mentioned, most of my running today was at tempo pace, but I did push a few sections and it felt really good, kind of at that threshold pace as well. And then after my run, I did do a few minutes of easy running in this shoe as well, and it felt, I have to say, it felt good at all paces. Now remember, this is a shoe that's designed with cadence in mind. And over the route that I ran today, it was very hilly, which I tend to have quite a bit of a lower cadence on this route that I run. So while I was running on the flats, it felt like I had just as high of a cadence as in something like the Vaporfly. I'll have to do more testing on more of a flat route, or do it a head-to-head comparison in the Vaporfly to see which one actually is better for my type of running a fast cadence. One weird negative thing about this shoe is the off-gassing on the shoe is absolutely horrendous. Even shooting this video, I've been recording for 15 minutes and the shoe is starting to make me sick. This shoe has a very, very strong chemically smell, and I don't even think that I'm going to be able to store these inside. So I'm not sure what that's about. I assume it's coming from this midsole material. But yeah, I've had a lot of shoes in my life and I've never smelled anything quite as bad as this shoe. So as of right now, I just need to do more testing with this shoe to figure out where it's going to fit in my rotation. Obviously, it's a race day shoe, and to be honest, I think this is going to be the #1 competitor when it comes to my running rotation, up against the Vaporfly when it comes to a race day shoe for basically 10K and over. So more testing to come. Before I do my next run in this shoe, I'm going to be doing my first run impressions in the Metaspeed Sky. So I'll have that video out in a few days as well. Thanks for watching. Let me know down below in the comments if you have a Metaspeed Sky or a Metaspeed Edge and what you think of it. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.